I'm not like that.
No, I know.
I'll let you take the helm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do I look at the
Yeah, I mean, you can look at me, you can look at the
weird.
camera, you can do both. It doesn't really matter.
How do you have storage after doing all of this?
I don't. Like,
okay.
I upload it to this and I just go right away.
Let's go. All right.
Welcome back to the Project Podcast. I'm your host, Connor Lewis. And today, I'm with a very special friend, a good friend of mine, Gianna Ucci. Gianna, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
You said my name wrong.
How do I pronounce it?
It's Ucci.
Are you serious? Are you actually
No,
serious?
I never correct anyone on it.
So you're going to do it right now?
Yes.
You're going to do it right now? In the
I
middle of my
know.
show? You could have told me like after, you're like, hey, you pronounced my name wrong.
I know. I thought you were seriously just going to be like Gianna. I didn't know that you were going to like do like the formal
This is
introduction.
formal. This is as formal as it gets. Do you see what I'm wearing? This is as formal as I wear clothes.
Yeah, this is actually the outfit I wear every
and you
day.
were wearing an unnamed college.
Yeah, I
overshirt.
was, but it's not
You don't
college.
you don't need to put it in. It's not a college. It's just this town of Boston.
No, it is the college.
Oh,
it's
it is.
just.
Oh, it
I
is.
don't know.
Yeah,
Will we
okay.
get sued by them if we say what college it was? Will they
That's
be
funny.
coming?
It's funny that you say that because I wore a URI shirt once and I got super scared that I was gonna get in trouble. Because I don't know what they're thinking. I wore a URI shirt just because that was what I was wearing that day.
For real.
Anyway. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I don't think anybody knows who you are.
Okay, thanks. So I'm Gianna. I'm a senior at LaSalle Academy in Providence. I'm about to go major in film and television at unnamed college right now because I have absolutely no idea. Most film majors, you don't hear back until March or April, and it really pisses me off. So, those are all my credentials.
Yeah. So, you were like the last call. We made a lot of calls. We reached out to Adrian Brody. He wasn't interested. I DM'd him 3 weeks ago. He's never got back to me. He's making walking videos on Instagram still. So,
Did Timothy shit?
No, he didn't. No. I emailed him.
I bet he responded. I bet he would respond if you emailed him.
He only responds to letters, I'm sure. He seems like a letter person. Like, if I gave him a handwritten letter, I think he'd answer. I think that's the only way.
Like, mail it through Owl?
Through Owl,
like in Harry Potter?
Yeah, like in Harry Potter, sure. Well, so we have a great episode for you guys today.
We do.
Obviously, by the time everyone's watching this will be the Oscar day. We're filming this the day before, because editing is a pain in the ass. So, we're going to be doing some Oscar stuff today. I have some made-up categories, too, that, I sent to Gianna ahead of time that are pretty good. But we're going to start with a segment. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's called, Is This a Real Kanye West Tweet, or Did I Just Make It Up? So I only have 4, because I was reading through the Kanye West tweets, and I can't say most of those. Like, some of the, I can't.
They're not.
Like, out of context, I seem like a terrible person. So
I was reading them to my dad, and I can't.
So,
did you write your own Kanye tweets for this?
Some of them might be. You gotta guess. That's the fun part. You have to guess. So you have to figure out if they're real. I only have 4, so. But we can discuss. Number one. I turned down 3 photos this week with Make-A-Wish kids in wheelchairs. Is that a real Kanye West tweet, or did I just make that up today?
That is my senior quote. It's by Kanye West.
That is true. That is 100% real.
Okay.
This is a...
Next one.
Yeah. Just farted in the studio, and the engineer thought it was a new bass line.
I think that you made that up.
I did make that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a good one or not.
It's quite believable, but I also feel like...
It could have been an old Kanye tweet.
I feel like Kanye would have been like, just dropped a nuke in the studio, and then that's... and he'd be like, I farted! in the replies. I don't know. I could do a character study on Kanye West.
He is one of the most interesting people that are alive today.
I know. Him and Chris Chan.
Wow. I wasn't expecting you to go there. Who would have thought we talked about Adrian Brody, Chris Chan, and Timothée Chalamet all in the same pod? Who would have thought?
That sounds like what I talk about every day. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone knows the movie Get Out is about me. Did I make that up? Maybe it is about me. That's what it's like living in the Lewis household. Get Out. True story.
I'm gonna...
Okay.
I feel like I've seen Kanye tweet that, so I'm gonna say it's a Kanye tweet.
It is real. You're 3
okay.
for 3. So
I am 3 for 3.
Because I'm too scared to say any of the other ones out loud. There's way more, because some of them are bad. You can do your own research, people. There's a whole website somebody made that's dedicated to all the tweets because his account is deleted or suspended.
Yeah.
So a whole list of all of them. I implore you to read them.
Yes, please read them. Read them in front of your dad, your grandma, favorite teacher.
Well, your dad might enjoy it. Everyone's dad.
My dad loved it.
My dad thought it was quite humorous, some of them.
There's nothing. All right, fourth one.
I love cutting the grass every couple of years. Love is like, there's like...
Love.
Yeah,
okay.
love.
See, I'm gonna like, a part of me wants to be like, okay, statistics, like 2 Kanye, 2 Connor tweets.
Maybe.
But,
or did I think you were going to say that?
But I also, yeah, so I'm gonna use that kind of like reverse notion because you can't predict everything. So I'm gonna say it's a Kanye tweet.
It is real.
Let's go!
I don't know what he meant by that, honestly.
I love cutting the grass every couple of years.
Love with like 4 E's.
Do you think that he enjoyed like the you know the Bean Boozled challenge?
Of course it.
The lawn clippings one. I liked the lawn clippings. I liked the toothpaste.
You would toothpaste was just mint.
Toothpaste was really good.
So it was that was like the best bad one to get.
Yeah, it was better than the blue raspberry in my opinion.
We should do that on this podcast.
Bean Boozled.
I don't even. Is that a thing still? Do people still make those?
Yes, and they're at Five Below, and I almost picked them up because I was like, "There's no way that this is only $5."
That is a great deal. I remember I got them once, and I did it with like my elderly grandmother, and I thought she was gonna die when she had the dog feces one.
God, I think that might be a what's it called? Like a common experience because I also did it with my elderly grandmother.
I don't know. Yeah,
and she still brings it up. She's like, "Do you remember when we did that jelly bean thing?" I was like, "Yeah."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great memory from your grandmother. I don't know. That's a great story.
It is a great story.
All right, do you want to jump right into the Connor Lewis Award ceremony?
I would love to jump into the Connor Lewis Award ceremony.
So do you have them written down, the ones that I...
Oh, I do not, and I'm going completely off the cuff for this.
Oh, okay. That's fine, too.
Because why not? So I'm going to open up my letterbox.
That's very funny. Okay.
Also, everyone.
Yeah,
can I plug the letterbox?
Please. I actually had that in the itinerary. For you to plug whatever you want to plug. You can plug anything.
I believe it's Gianna Ucci 22, and it looks like that. And I have really good taste. And also...
Mean Girls is your favorite movie, by the way.
Mean Girls is my favorite movie. As a film major, it is not with a grain of salt. That is a 5-star perfect film, and I will be bringing it up today, and I already know where I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, I know where you're going to bring it up. I already know.
I could connect it to every single movie ever made.
Actually, yeah, because
I probably
the
could.
remake, yeah, okay. I could see. Yeah, okay.
All right. Not the remake.
Well, I don't know. You might like it. I don't know. You like musicals?
I hate the remake.
Okay. That's fine.
That's
you don't have to like the remake.
That's just like a personal opinion.
That's fine. Okay, we'll start with the Terminator Award for a movie that won't win an Oscar but deserves a shout out anyway.
Okay. Released this year?
Released in 2024.
I would like to say Challengers gets the Terminator Award for a movie that will not be winning an Oscar, primarily for its score.
Yeah.
The Challengers score is amazing.
You don't think it's going to win score at all?
It wasn't nominated.
Wait, it wasn't? Oh.
Challengers was nominated for nothing. And Luca Guadagnino, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce
Guadagnino.
Guadagnino.
That's true. That's actually true.
He released 2 films this year that he directed and wrote, and none of them got nominated for Oscars.
What was the other one?
Queer, but I heard that one was really bad. So
I have no idea. I know Daniel Craig's in it, James Bond.
Yeah.
So who would have thought?
James Bond.
That one kind of came and went. I feel like I didn't hear much about it until like after this year or last year wrapped up. So I don't know. I want to plug my favorite movie of last year. This is my favorite movie, Saturday Night. Great movie. Oh my god. I don't know how it didn't get. It should have got score.
It should have.
I love the score of Saturday Night.
I could also see it getting something for screenplay.
Yeah.
Because I think that the way that they really made that whole stress of like it being the 90 minutes.
Yeah. It's real time. It's like
real time.
It's ensemble would have been good for SAG. Yeah. I'm surprised. I understand Conclave. I watched it. I totally get why people love Conclave. Trust me. The cast of Saturday Night. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Please watch it. If you are a film lover like me and Gianna, you will appreciate that movie. Like the stress that goes into it. I've made like just very simple student films, and you still feel that stress. Yeah, and I'm sure you can attest to that too.
You've been in one of mine.
Yeah,
and you know that stress of me.
And
like,
you were every day. You were like, Connor, I don't want to do. I asked Sarah for an extension again. She's failing me.
She actually, I got a 92 on that. I think that
you deserved a 92. It was good. It was a good.
I think that it deserved better, personally.
It was really good. Honestly, I would have gave you a 93.
I feel like
it's pretty good.
The other projects were just really like they were actually professionally shot, whereas mine it was like supposed to be like
amateur.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there one in that in your class that stuck out to you, or one that you like? Not if it was memorable. I don't know.
I think that they were all memorable in their own way. I don't want to plug other people that aren't me.
I like that. Okay, that was a test. That was a good,
right?
Good way to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a PR training.
The Crash 2004 award for the movie that makes you think, are we sure this movie should get an Oscar?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Emilia Perez.
Yeah, I have that too.
We'll talk about it later.
Yep.
That film deserves absolutely nothing.
0 awards.
It deserves nothing. I was sitting on a plane watching it, and I was praying for my plane to crash, okay? I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Crash? Like the award?
Like Crash
Like
2004.
the Crash 2004 award?
Like Crash 2004. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna watch any movie that I need to end early because of a plane crash, it's gonna be Emilia Perez. Because I'm not gonna sit here and download Good Will Hunting and then not be able to finish it because I'm dead.
True.
You know?
That's a really good point. Because didn't you take a flight like during the time where there was a lot of unfortunate incidents happening?
Oh yeah. I took a flight the day after the Toronto plane like flipped over. I was terrified.
Yeah, but were you relieved a little bit when you decided you were going to watch Emilia Perez? You're like, well, either way, I'll either watch a movie or I'll die.
This not the songs, but the sounds and the words that were used, not the dialogue, the words that were used in Emilia Perez really didn't stick with me. So, you know.
I don't think anything stuck with me in that movie except your favorite scene of movie history. Do you
Yes!
want to just go ahead? You want to go ahead and just...
La Vaginoplastia?
Yeah, just do your impression of like the first like 15 seconds of that
Hello,
song.
very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operations. I see. Man to woman, woman to man, man to... I started singing it to my mom on the plane.
Did she want the plane to crash as well, or?
Yes. Yeah. It like heightened her motion sickness. It was pretty bad.
I also watched it, and I watched it with my mother, and she did not appreciate the movie. Mm-hmm. You could tell she was out. I did not finish Emilia Perez. I don't care.
I didn't finish it either.
I
had like 20 minutes left, and
Okay.
But there's another movie that I really like that I also didn't finish on here for a different reason. But again, I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, of course.
When we talk about the best picture and all of that.
Okay, so moving on. The Who Will Win the Oscars award for the person, actor or director, that will walk away from this night as the winner of the Oscars.
I think that I'm gonna go on like a weird like limb and say Francis Ford Coppola, who just accepted his Razzie for worst director at the Razzies for Megalopolis. I think that he won the Oscars because he's like, I got you guys. You guys all think that my movie sucks. I don't care. I'm probably gonna be dead in a couple years anyways. Fuck you guys. Like that. I think that is genuinely who won the Oscars.
Time out. What?
I think that Francis Ford Coppola won the Oscars this year because the Oscars had to make that decision to not nominate him, even though he's Francis Ford Coppola. Think about it.
This is true.
If you heard that if you're like an Oscar like nominator or like an Oscar voter, you hear that Francis Ford Coppola has a movie, and like many of the Oscar voters, you've never seen the movie.
Right.
Okay?
They don't watch movies.
They're gonna be like, oh, Francis Ford Coppola, put him in. Godfather, yeah. Guess what? His movie sucks. Do you know the amount of effort for them to not nominate him?
That's true.
That takes like dedication.
I disagree with you on one point. Those guys don't watch movies.
They don't watch movies.
They don't watch movies. They don't care.
They don't.
They just like they like the attention. Bro, they didn't watch The Brutalist. They didn't watch Dune 2. They didn't watch anything. They didn't watch Saturday Night. You think they watched Saturday Night? No, they didn't.
We're gonna give an Oscar to Adrian Brody because he's never won an Oscar. As Adrian Brody is a historic youngest Oscar winner.
Yeah, this is true.
Who could be beat out by Timothée Chalamet this year.
And
for that record.
We'll get back to that, but I really like that point a lot, but we'll get back to that eventually. Anyway.
What's yours?
It is Timothée Chalamet. And I think that obviously this may spoil my prediction of who I want to win, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I think and I want Chalamet to win Best Actor. And I think this will launch him into that superstardom that we saw a little bit of at SAG.
Yeah.
And he gave that incredible speech, which I watched, like, I've been watching on loop. I don't know about you, but I cannot stop watching that speech. It was great. It was not what I expected. usually everyone's going up and thanking their mom, and I think he did, but being humble, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he just did something I did not expect and no one expected. Yeah. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is such a good signifier of what young Hollywood is going to be, what this new generation of Hollywood is going to be, and what the Hollywood that I want to one day for you to be a part of, what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that he was like, I deserve this. I got this because I deserve this. Yeah. I deserve this just as much as anyone else here. I want to be great. And I feel like people don't admit that because, number one, sometimes they get these things because of, I'm sorry, nepotism, payment. Like, sometimes they don't actually want these awards. And I feel like expressing the fact that you're like, I deserved this, is really something that I only have ever seen, like, female nominees do, and then they get a bunch of backlash for it.
It's true. It's not right, obviously. Yeah, it's a really good point. And the problem with that is, what is the new generation of Hollywood? Because Chalamet's the only under 30 person that's a superstar.
That's true.
Who can headline a movie, and you're guaranteed to be a successful film if you have Chalamet on your side. Now, unless you disagree. I mean, if you want to throw a name out there, I'm fine with that.
I would also want to say Florence Pugh, but she's a couple years older than Timothée Chalamet. That whole Little Women cast, honestly, like, that's a kind of younger Hollywood. I just don't know. Like, I feel like we were all predicting, like, Stranger Things kids.
Yeah.
When I think of, like, young Hollywood,
well,
I think of them.
I think you.
I was
really...
a big Stranger Things fan, but like, I don't think that we've seen it yet, because I don't think that young people in Hollywood right now are getting as much of a, big push.
Right.
I do, however, Mikey Madison, who was just in Anora, she's only in her 20s, and she is going to be a superstar one day. I am so insanely sure of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you'll talk about it, because I didn't see Anora. Famously, I did not see Anora yet, but, I'll let you have the floor eventually when we get to Anora about your love for Mikey Madison.
I like Mikey Madison a lot.
I just want to make sure I pronounce her name correctly.
Yes.
Because I'm famously bad at that.
Mm-hmm.
But just to get back to my point, I think Chalamet will walk away from this movie as the winner. I think he'll bring home the Oscar, and it's going to really put him on the map. And everyone's going to realize, okay, this kid's legit, and we can stop hating on him. Because there's people on, like, I'm sure you've seen it, people just randomly hating on this kid to crash and burn, and I'm like, what are we talking about?
Is it because...
Why do you want to root against the only young male actor that Hollywood has going for them? Unless you like Glenn Powell a lot.
And also, he just seems like a nice guy.
He seems cool.
He seems like the most personable guy ever. His press run for this movie is actually insane, because he just wanted to, like, feed into that, like, I'm for the people. He's like the people's princess. He's like Princess Diana. I call Timothée Chalamet the people's princess. But
you and only you, Gianna.
I know. I try to see the good in people. But I have friends of mine. I have one notorious one that absolutely hates Timothée Chalamet, and I'm gonna laugh in his face.
You want to name drop?
I'm not name dropping on the podcast, but you know who you are, and you will pay for this.
If they're listening. Or watching, I guess. But if they're watching, then they'll probably comment. But probably
if they're one of the 3 people that's gonna watch that.
So what, is it both of your parents watching?
My parents.
Who's the third person? Is it Chris Pennell?
Chris Pennell.
Chris Pennell's the third person.
Chris Pennell is the third
He's gonna be
person.
like, what the fuck are they talking about me for? It's like, you're gonna have it in the background there, he's gonna hear his name, and he's gonna be like, oh my god.
He's gonna put it on a spam account. You just fell on top of your fridge.
God. Let's move on.
Chalamet's corner.
No!
Really not
Oh,
doing a
no.
tripod.
No. Okay, yeah. We'll have to edit that part.
Chalamet's corner. We'll be back.
All right, next of the we're entering the second half of the Connor Lewis Awards. The hottest take award for a movie from 2024 that everyone loved or liked, but you did not. So I have a strong opinion, but
Me too.
You can go ahead.
I'm not gonna say that I didn't like it. I'm gonna say that I didn't like it as much as everyone else did. And this is gonna contradict something I said earlier. Anora.
Oh.
I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I was gonna give it 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Anora was fine. I thought that the acting was amazing. I thought that the directing was amazing. I just feel like at a lot of points it shouldn't have been like as long as it was. Like, you could wrap this up in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there was so much unnecessary fluff in that film that really overshadowed the true meaning of it. But people like call like the Oscars. They're like, oh my god, this is perfect because it's a strong female story and all of that. And I'm like, yes, but that was also so overshadowed, I believe. Like, to me, for my perception of this film. I'm like, does this even pass the Bechdel test? Like, I don't even know.
I mean, you did say that you had a strong opinion about Honora. You told me that.
Yes.
And I was not expecting that out of you, honestly.
Yeah.
Because mine is going to probably... Now it's going to, like, disappoint, because you came out firing with an Oscar-nominated film.
With a film that is very much in the talks to win Best Picture.
And it may well win Best Picture. And mine definitely won't. It's Deadpool and Wolverine.
I knew you were going to say Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I didn't like this movie that much. It was fun. There's a difference between a fun movie and a good movie.
Yeah.
I like fun movies, obviously. I like The Fall Guy. That movie's fun. Is it that good? Probably not. Not really. It's fun, though. I had a good time. I actually enjoyed it. Deadpool and Wolverine is not a good movie. I've rewatched it. I've watched it more than once in theaters. I've given tons of money to this movie. I've gone with many people.
I have gone as well with many people.
And its plot is senseless. It merely exists just to wrap up storylines of characters you didn't need to wrap up. Like, you don't need more Blade.
No.
From what you don't. We didn't really need Gambit. I mean, it's cool. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I'm gonna make a name for myself.
True story, I did that every day for a month, I think. I think that specific line.
Like me with vaginoplastia. Like, just singing that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that movie did have me singing like a prayer for like a week.
That too. I like the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was amazing. I just thought it was fun. Like, the time of my life where I was watching that film, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Because it was like summer. It was fun. I was having like a great time with all my friends, and I was just like, I hope you had the time of your life, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought that was great.
And honestly, it was very easy to find the vinyl for this movie at like a Target. Everywhere.
Yes.
I remember going to Target, like, and you'd see it no matter what, no matter when. And I thought about buying it many times, but I didn't. But I should.
Like a Taylor Swift album, you always see her.
I like to. This is true. I go to Target and I cover them up with like better albums of Taylor Swift.
Really?
True story.
You're like one of those haters. Wow.
It's just funny. I put like Nirvana in front of it or something. It's just like no one's buying Nirvana. No one's buying vinyls anyway. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, I buy them and then I never play them. Sadly.
True story. So true. I got Great American Bar Scene on vinyl.
Oh, really?
Never opened it. Still in the package.
I have
It's cool to have.
I have the new Billie Eilish still in the package.
Oh. Okay.
I'm like, when am I gonna? Because I used to use my record player all the time. Now I just don't.
Yeah. It's a hassle.
Because I'm not 15 anymore. Like, I can just listen to things in my car now.
True. Yeah, it is a bit of a hassle to, use a vinyl player, I guess. Just literally. Just it is a hassle. But anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine, it was a funny movie. Hugh Jackman did not shoe it in. He was actually great.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good. But, I don't know. Something about Ryan Reynolds. And he seems like a nice guy, and I know there's a lot of controversy. I'm not talking about that. It's just, as an actor, he's very limited.
I really agree with that. I think that he's a little one note. Yeah. And he didn't used to be, because he was amazing in The Proposal. And I also like how in Deadpool and Wolverine, he just looked at the camera and he went, The Proposal. I thought that was really, really funny.
Do you think he was talking right to you? Did it feel like that?
Yes.
That only you understood that joke?
I was like, oh!
Because you're the only person in our age range that likes The Proposal.
Are you serious?
Do you think that...
I love that movie.
What do you think about The Proposal?
I love The Proposal! It's such a sweet movie. I was watching it the other day with my mom.
So are you leading me to believe that it's just like his best role? Do you think that is...
I think that is the best role I've ever seen Ryan Reynolds in, is The Proposal.
You don't think it was Free Guy?
I've never seen Free Guy, so I can't...
You don't need to. You're good.
I keep forgetting that he was in Free Guy.
You're not missing much, honestly, I promise.
Do you remember the movie Pixels?
Of course I do.
I loved Pixels.
When it came out, I was 10.
Me too!
I loved it.
I remember.
I watched it like 2 years after, and I'm like, yeah, this wasn't good. I watched it again, it was really bad.
I watched it in my grandma's basement. Like, one day. Okay. I was like, oh, let's put on Pixels. That's cool. We like video games. And that was basically it.
And did that end your love for video games? at that moment? Was it the part where Cubert turns into Josh Gad's wife? Was that the weird part to you, or what?
No, that's actually the moment where I started loving film and wanting to become a film major.
Do you think there is somebody who's going to go to USC that's like Pixels?
Pixels.
That's the one that got me.
That's the one. Why not be the first?
You're going to do icebreakers at USC.
Pixels!
Yeah, I loved Pixels. And that's I'm a big fan of Adam Sandler movies. So I hope to make one day.
Big Jack and Jill guy.
Oh my god. What a terrible discography or filmography. Excuse me. Anyway, we have 3 more Carlos Awards, and eventually we'll get to the real awards, but this is fun.
This is really fun.
The Herald and the Purple Crayon Award for the movie from 2024 that made you think, did this movie actually happen or was it just in my imagination? I have Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Did this come out this year? No.
Well, what did you want to give? Shazam? Honestly, I would have believed if it came out in 2024.
I kind of wanted to go with another Zachary Levi film. Did another Zachary Levi film come out? Because I was gonna say Harold and the Purple Crayon as well.
We can have the same one. It's fine.
Hold on.
I won't fight you.
Yes, here it is. The Unbreakable Boy.
I thought that was this year.
Oh, that was? Oh, it is.
It just came
2025.
out. It's in theaters right now.
All right.
Go watch it.
Go.
The Unbreakable Boy.
This is a plug for the Unbreakable Boy.
Lincoln Cinemas.
All right. What was the question again?
For the movie that from 2024 that made you think, did this movie actually happen or was it just in my imagination? And again, I give it to Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah, I would very much agree with Harold and the Purple Crayon.
You're free to agree. I'm not gonna.
I think that is. I mean, if it's the Harold and the Purple Crayon award, also Madam Web, which I forgot happened this year, and I remember like seeing that. I was like,
well, Sony famously made 3 superhero films in 2024. Can you name them?
Madam Web.
Yeah, that's correct.
Was Blue Beetle this year?
Nope, that's also not DC. I mean, that's not Sony. That's DC.
Well, it played out like a Sony film.
That is true.
I want to say.
I think that was 2023 though.
Sony superhero films. Okay.
There's 2 more that are pretty famous.
Madam Web.
That's true.
Not Morpheus. Not
Morpheus.
Morbius.
Morpheus from Matrix. I love that guy.
Not Morbius.
That
wasn't Morbius.
It was not.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
Black
Morbius
Adam.
too. Black Adam's DC Comics.
Same difference, guys. At some point.
You're gonna get hate.
I know. Okay, Madam Web.
I think we got that one.
Madam Web 2.
Nope.
2 Madam 2 Web.
Morbius 2.
And Madam Web Tokyo Drift.
Do you want to know the real answers? Because
Yes.
I know them. Because I've seen them.
Craven
the Hunter. Bad. Half Star. And Venom.
Oh, Venom: The Last Dance.
It's on Netflix. Go watch it.
I've never seen the Venoms. I kind of want to, but like
Venom one's okay. It's actually not that bad.
I feel like it'll be kind of the same way I feel about Deadpool, which is like it's a good time. It's not a good movie, but it's a good time.
I think the first Deadpool was a well-made film.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't it's not, I don't think it won an Oscar, but I think it was a very well-made film.
Yeah, I don't think it won an Oscar.
I hope not. I really hope not.
No.
Okay, well, so no more talk about the Sony universe of Marvel characters.
Yes.
We'll jump right into the Spider-Man 2 award. For the sequel of 2024 that was better than the original. I have Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which actually good movie.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed it. I don't have a lot of comments about Sonic 3. You can look up whatever you want to look up. Sonic 3, it is corny. It is a kids movie in 2024. Of course, it's not going to be like, it's not Toy Story, but it's weirdly better than the first 2 Sonic films. There's a lot more of the lore of Sonic, which I actually appreciate. I was a big Sonic fan growing up, so you can laugh, but I really had a good time with Sonic 3. I saw it was a family outing. I saw it with the triplets and my mother. Totally worth it. Go watch Sonic 3. It's actually a good time. If you like Sonic, you'll like it.
I remember you texted me that the same day I saw Nosferatu, and you were like, Sonic 3 is great!
Sonic 3! I think I actually gave it like 4 stars.
I think you did too, and you gave it like a really, really long review. I'm gonna have to say it's a very, very obvious answer. Joker Folia Dude. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I was gonna say
Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, no, wait, not Deadpool and Wolverine. Dune Part 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. No, okay.
I'm thinking about films I saw in the theater this year. I was like, Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, no.
I was gonna say that's a very bold claim to make.
Can I just state something? And this is an even bolder claim.
Okay.
I fell asleep during the first Dune. I mean, granted, it was 2021. I watched it when it came out because I was a Chalamet stan.
True.
I was 13 years old, and I just don't think I like grasped it. Dune Part 2, I was like, whoa! I mean, that worm really.
Did you get the worm bucket?
I wish I did, but I don't have much of a use for it.
That's what I figured you'd say.
I don't know.
But do you have any more comments on Dune 2, or is there a time where you're going to talk about it today?
There is a time where we're going to talk about it today because it is nominated for Best Picture.
That is true. Okay, so we can get back to it.
We can get back into Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 also came out like at a really weird time in my life, and I just marked that time in my life by Dune Part 2. I'm like, oh, that's when Dune came out.
That's the benchmark. It's like life before Dune 2, life after. And there's that one time where I did see it, and that's the in-between. Mm-hmm. That's like when Jesus was born. Actually, that week that I did see it, like so many like weird things happened to me. I was like, can we go through them in excruciatingly long detail? Absolutely not. There's a deep insight about your life that 1 week Dune 2 came out. Gianna lore. That could be a podcast. Gianna lore. I feel like really. I'd produce. I'd be the producer, yeah. Absolutely. But okay, well, we have one more Carlos Award. We'll take a break and then we'll get into the real Oscars, which I know everyone's here for that. The Stan Lee Award. I just came up with this one yesterday for the best cameo in 2024. Okay. You want to go ahead? I would like you to go first. You're not going to see this one coming. I don't know if you're not going to see mine coming. No. You're going to be even more surprised. I promise. Okay. Imagine we have the same one. There's no way you've seen this movie. Okay. It's a movie that I haven't seen. Okay. I don't think so. I didn't really research it. It's from the movie Unfrosted, which is directed by Jerry Seinfeld. Came out in 2024. I watched it. And the cameo is Bill Burr as John F. Kennedy. This is real. Isn't that a movie about Christmas? No, it's about the Pop-Tart. You must see it. Is that like that Flamin' Hot movie? It's similar, but it's about Pop-Tarts and Bill Burr plays JFK. This is true. Bill Burr plays JFK. Wow. Yep. So I actually need to look up the name of this person really quick. Okay. You can tell who did prep work and who didn't. I put up Bill Burr as JFK. Well, I just need to know the name. That's fine. So my favorite cameo of 2024, my Stan Lee Award goes to Tedesco's vape in Conclave. You see an old Italian guy just like... That's a great decision. Because I was very surprised when I saw a lot of stuff in that movie I was surprised about, but the vaping was interesting. Mm-hmm. How many years do you think it will take for the Cardinals to get a hold of Zins? Over under 2.5 years. Because they are a little behind. They're older people. I think that it depends on whether or not like what's going on with Pope Francis. Well, I think that if this is Pope Francis's year, I hope not. To go. I really hope not. I love that guy. Yeah, he's cool. I'm a Catholic too. I really love that guy. Yeah. But I think that we could definitely see it. I'm definitely over 2 years, but maybe like within the next 5 years. Okay. It's funny, I was describing, we'll talk more about Conclave in a second, but I was describing the plot of Conclave, and my mom obviously thought, oh, this is happening right now. And I'm like, yeah. You should watch this. It's actually very good. And it is interesting, and the ending is real good. I won't give the ending away, even though, you know. Oh, we're not spoiling the ending. Okay. We could. I mean, I don't know how many people are really going to be convinced to watch Conclave based on what we say. Okay. But if we get one person to watch Conclave, I'm happy with that. Yeah, then they have to pay us. Because honestly, I've gotten 3 people to watch Conclave this week. Including me. Including you. Because I wasn't. I was going to watch, I don't know what I was going to watch. I was going to watch something. Maybe I would have watched Conclave anyway. I don't know. But do you have any more notes on the vape? Conclave? I don't think I have any more notes on the vape. I'm not really a vape scholar, personally. Okay. Well, I would recommend people, don't even watch Unfrosted. It's not a good movie. It's bad. Okay. But go on YouTube and watch the JFK scene. It's one scene. It's like 3 minutes, but it's worth it. Because you don't even know it's Bill Burr at first. If you didn't know, you would just think it was some random guy. And it is Bill Burr, famous comedian and famously on Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Playing JFK.
Yeah.
So I think that's all for this section. So we're going to take a little bit of a break and we'll get back to the real Oscars.
Let's go.
Right after this.
Awesome. We never... Welcome back.
We're back. And we're going to, before we get into the actual predictions, Gianna insisted that we talk about the nominees for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
We're saving Best Picture for last because it's best to lead up to that one. I think that's the big one of the night. So, obviously, I haven't seen all of these. You haven't seen all of them.
Mm-hmm. How many have you seen?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Okay.
So I've seen half.
I've seen 7.
Okay, good.
So that's you
good.
know, that's pretty manageable.
I think there's probably a lot of overlap there. What are the ones you haven't seen?
I have not seen The Brutalist, I'm Still Here, or Nickel Boys.
Okay. Same. And I haven't seen The Substance or Nora.
Okay.
So...
Mm-hmm. I watched The Substance last night, so I can really provide commentary.
Do you want to start with The Substance because it's fresh in your mind?
I would like to actually start let's start with The Substance.
I don't
Why
have
not?
an order. I just put them off memory based. I don't even know.
Okay. Let's start with The Substance. So I really liked The Substance as a film. What if we did the ones that I've seen and then you haven't seen any that I haven't seen, so then we can just go with the rest.
Okay, that's fine.
And then we can just leave the other 3 talking about trends and stuff.
Yeah.
So to start off with The Substance, I've been anticipating watching The Substance. One big problem that I've really had with movies this year especially is that none of them are widely available.
True.
Some of them are in theaters, select theaters for a week, and then they are gone, and then you can't watch them.
Juror Number 2 is famous for that. The Clint Eastwood film was in theaters only in 12 theaters in America for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not fun. As a big Clint Eastwood fan. But
yeah. I mean, locally, The Brutalist was at Providence Place for a day, and then it dipped. And then you just had to stream it illegally. So a lot of these I found myself actually streaming illegally, and The Substance was one of them. I think that The Substance would be a 5-star film if it weren't for all of the freaking gore. I was literally sitting there have you seen Midsummer?
Yeah.
That scene where they push the old people off the cliff and they bash their heads in with a mallet. I remember the first time I watched that, I had to run to my bathroom and spew.
Really?
And that is the exact same way I felt about it. The Substance, except it was just worse. The gore and the body horror in that is freaking gross, and I was like,
so does that make or break a film for you?
That
gore?
For me broke it.
Okay.
I'm normally not that bad with gore, but for this one, for some reason, I just couldn't do it. So I ended up not actually watching the last 5 minutes, and I just kind of scrolled through it. I was like, I can't watch this.
Okay.
But I mean, I knew what was gonna happen because I feel like The Substance, like Pearl, that movie, the T.I. West one, that was the sequel to X. I feel like it was a movie that was on social media way too much.
Yep.
So I essentially ended up watching the entire thing on social media, and I was like, "Oh, I know."
You were watching
80-second
clips on TikTok. Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was it with Pearl too. When I watched Pearl, I was like, I've seen this entire thing on TikTok.
Yep.
Every single part of this has been a trend, and in some ways that can help a campaign, but in also some ways that can hurt it.
Would you say it helped or hurt it?
I think that in this case, the promotion actually did help The Substance.
Yep.
Because it is a really, really cool, screenplay idea, and I think that Demi Moore really gives that performance of a lifetime. I also hate the fact that it was trying to push this narrative that Demi Moore is ugly, because she is gorgeous, and she's 62 years old, and she looks incredible.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she looks ugly, she looks saggy. No, she looks amazing.
They do that a lot in movies, where they try to push narratives of... I think it's more women, but it happens to guys sometimes, too, where a character is seen as very ugly when they're probably the best looking person in that film.
Literally. And that is what it was with Demi Moore in The Substance. And I think that the pacing was really good with it. I mean, it was 2.5 hours long, and it did not feel like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I was kind of hooked the entire time. I didn't even check my phone. I was like, that's
rare. A
great film. And to talk about the next film that I'm going to, I was checking my phone during Anora.
Oh.
Anora starts out very strong. It starts out a little okay, because it's about a sex worker from Brooklyn, so I do believe that it really did push that whole stripper, sex worker, that whole thing. Maybe even a little too much, to the point where I'm like, yeah, I could definitely not watch this with my mom. But I think that the story around it is just incredible. the way that they wove everything in, the way that they wove her story in, and Mikey Madison is a tour de force. In every single scene, in almost every scene, like especially in the second and third act, she has like maybe 1 or 2 lines, very little dialogue, but your eye always goes to her. You're only gonna watch her because her reactions and the way that she totally like takes on the character and takes on the scene and really adds that humanity to it is so powerful, and it's something that sometimes you just don't see with actors.
Right.
And you can tell that everyone who worked on this film loves the craft and loves the craft of filmmaking. And I mean, I didn't know that Sean Baker also edited it.
Yeah.
He wrote it, he directed it, and he edited it. It's the same with the Florida Project. So I
is that your plug of the Florida Project right now?
It is my plug of the Florida
Project. It's been a hot topic, the Florida Project. Letterboxd just posted something about it today. This is true.
1 million watched, I think. And then they're having like a little like 4K, like they're remastering it. Great film, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But I think that Anora is definitely one to watch in terms of like intricacy in filmmaking. However, it just wasn't my favorite out of the nominees.
Okay.
I think the next one that we should talk about it's one of your favorites. I think we should talk about A Complete Unknown.
How does it feel?
As opposed to the Vegetaplastia, the other thing that I always say all the time is, how does it feel? I actually do listen to Bob Dylan a lot now. Yeah. That was like the Bob Dylan renaissance. And also I keep forgetting that he's still alive.
He is. I might go see him in concert.
Really?
He's going to Xfinity.
That's amazing.
I don't know who I'm going to go with. I might go alone. I might go full Bob Dylan and just go by myself.
You might go alone to Bob Dylan and be like...
It's Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, like random people.
Oh, wow.
This
That's
is
really
true.
cool.
And I'm going to be the youngest person there. I'm bringing down the average of age by 25 years.
For sure.
But A Complete Unknown. I was a little bit of a Bob Dylan fan before, not as much as I am now. This movie's made up by its performances. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't completely work as a movie, but the best parts of this movie are the performances from people like, how do you pronounce it? Barbaro, Chalamet, Norton, everybody. I don't think there's a bad performance in the movie. Who plays Johnny Cash? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh my goodness. I thought I did, but I don't.
It's Holbrook. I don't know.
Hold on.
This is embarrassing because I love Johnny Cash. It's Boyd Holbrook. Yeah. Very good as Johnny Cash. I actually he stole the show whenever he was on.
Yeah, he was great.
The car scene where he's trying to the funniest thing I've ever watched in my life. I was
the motorcycle, yeah.
I was crying laughing. Again, it's as a movie, it can be tough for as far as plot goes, but again, performances are what makes this movie great. It's the reason it's in this category. It's not because it's a great plot. There's many films here that have or probably have better plots, but A Complete Unknown as far as soundtrack goes, Barbaro learning how to sing, Monica Barbaro learning how to sing to play Joan Baez. Yeah. Like, can I just learn how to sing? Like, can anybody do that, or is she just like that?
I think so. Isn't that like that movie with like little animals? They're like, anyone can sing.
Are you talking about Sing?
Yes, Sing.
Do you like Sing? Are you a Sing?
I'm not a Sing fan. Head? However, I was getting like this like weird like medical thing that I had to get like this examined, and they had Sing 2 on, and they're like, oh, do you want to watch Sing 2? And I'm like, is that the only movie? So I sat there and I had to watch Sing 2 for like an hour while they like checked me up. I was like, cool.
Can I tell you something about Sing 2?
What?
I have the soundtrack on vinyl. True story. It's in my room. I swear to God, this is absolutely true. I've never. So I got a vinyl player from my friend, and he's like, "You can have Sing 2 on vinyl also." And I'm like, "Thanks."
Wow.
But I've never used it because obviously, and he also gave me like a Kid Cudi album, which is very cool.
That's really nice.
I liked that part. It was free. He gave it to me for free.
That's cool.
Because he wasn't going to use it. But yeah, Sing 2. If you can have it if you want. I know you're a Sing 2 head.
I'm not the biggest Sing 2 head. You can keep that. I think that A Complete Unknown for me really dragged on. I think that I was sitting there. I was watching it with my parents. My parents were saying there like Timothy Chalamet cannot sing for shit. I'm like,
that's okay.
Yeah,
Let's not get into it. He was in Wonka. Come on.
There's chocolate and there's chocolate. But I think that I liked A Complete Unknown a lot. I like the vibe of it. Again, the performances are really what leads it, but I feel like when you have that sort of runtime, you can do so much. Like, we didn't have to go to Newport Folk Festival every year.
No.
half the time it was like the same plot just repeated over and over again, and it's like Bob Dylan has led such a huge life. I mean, do you remember that one guy that's like, in 1987 I walked Bob Dylan up on the stage, I'm an NYU film school graduate? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, like what was his story? Like when was that? Why was that such a big moment and all of that? And I think that if we had seen a lot more of Bob Dylan's life, which you can't really do because Timothée Chalamet is such a young actor.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to get like that sweet spot of the age. But I don't know. I was expecting a lot more, especially due to the acclaim.
Yeah.
And
if you want to know more about Bob Dylan's life, watch I'm Not Here, or I'm Not There. It's on Amazon Prime, actually. So I have seen most of it. I really enjoy it. If you want to learn more about Bob Dylan, which I love Bob Dylan, very fascinating person. Again, I can't believe he's alive still. As bad as that sounds, it's just when you live, because it is a period piece movie, obviously, but it feels really, really old. Yeah. And I agree. Since like most of the people that are in that film obviously aren't alive, it's like you kind of forget that this is still like a person that is with us and still making music. He dropped in some music last year. Really? I didn't listen to it, but I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure that he's. I don't know if it's anything crazy. I don't know if he's doing like rap, but I'm sure it's fine.
What if he pulls a Timothée Chalamet and like starts a rap career? At least we go way back. Hell's Kitchen. Where's that? I know Timothée Chalamet's entire like.
Okay, here's my first Hanks versus Cruise.
Oh.
Not Chalamet. Edward Norton's character.
Oh.
Pete Seeger. So if you don't know, obviously you guys don't know. Me and Gianna have a running conversation constantly. If a movie would be better with Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks. Yeah. Two rivals, two actors I very much love. To figure out who's a better actor and who fits better in places. Yeah. So the first question is not Timothée Chalamet's character, Edward Norton's character, Pete Seeger.
I feel like that's an easy one. I feel like it's Tom Hanks.
You don't think Cruise would get super into it and like a young Cruise?
No, I do not think. I just don't see Tom Cruise doing that. Like, I just think that.
Okay, how about as Bob Dylan?
As Bob Dylan, I could see.
Ooh, that is impossible.
I would also say Hanks, but I could see Cruise. But I feel like it could be like neck and neck between the two of them, and I could definitely just see Hanks like getting more into it.
My thing with Hanks as Bob Dylan, or I mean, Cruise as Bob Dylan. Cruise learns how to do skills for movies, famously. In Cocktail, he learned how to be a great bartender. In Color Money, he learned how to play pool. I think that if Cruise, when he was like 25, played Bob Dylan, he'd learn how to play the guitar. Oh, yeah. In 6 weeks.
Oh, and he'd do it like...
He'd be great. Like, he'd be a great guitar player. Yeah. And so I think that is something that I don't think Hanks has that, I don't think he'd ever want to learn. I don't think he'd care to learn how to do that.
But contrastingly, I also think that...
Good word.
Contrastingly,
wow.
I don't think that Tom Cruise would really lean into that subtlety that you need to play Bob Dylan. And I was really shocked that Timothée Chalamet did it, because Timothée Chalamet is such a big personality. And I think that you really need to learn how to take a step back and realize power within silence and subtlety and small actions. Yeah. And I think that Tom Hanks would better execute that.
It's a great way to put it. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any more comments on A Complete Unknown?
I do not. I will let you choose the next film.
Amelia Perez. Let's talk about it. Let's just get into it, because I watched half of it. So.
Oh yeah, I watched. Okay, first of all, I didn't know that Selena Gomez couldn't sing. I didn't know that Selena Gomez couldn't sing, and no one else in that movie could sing. If you're gonna do a musical, okay. As someone who has been in musical theater many times, who knows musicals...
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird... I haven't heard anyone say that in a really long time.
I just want to bust it out.
In terms of musicals, and in terms of musical theater, having a film that has musicals embedded, like songs embedded into it, and has music embedded into it, is such a hard thing to pull off.
That's true.
Making a musical and also marketing it as a big film and as a serious considered film is the hardest thing to do. And I remember it with La La Land. People are like, is that actually a musical? Like, why would I sit here and watch a musical? So you already have that that high caliber that you have to fit. Right. Which means that when people randomly burst into song at the middle of a musical, it needs to make sense and it needs to be at the right time. And Amelia Perez missed on all of that, and none of those songs were good.
That's true.
None of them were good.
Because you can make up for the lack of timing if the songs are like passable, and they were not. You're absolutely on the money with that.
Exactly.
That point.
And I mean, Carlos Sofia Gascon, I don't even care about your backlash. I don't care that you're a racist, okay? Like, I don't care that you do any of this stuff.
I agree.
Okay? You don't deserve the award anyways. Now, what is shocking me is the fact that Oscar voters that are, like, coming out, like, anonymous Oscar voter 10 is like, I loved Emilia Perez. No, you don't. You could just watch Emilia Perez. You couldn't watch any of these other films because you guys don't know where the local movie theater is.
True.
So, I mean, I think that Emilia Perez was really catapulted by its availability on Netflix. It having Zoe Saldana in it, who, by the way, like, I don't think she was definitely the best in that movie, but I don't think she was that good.
No, she wasn't good. No.
And, I mean, it's just bad. Like, it's just
there's no, I can't even go into that deep detail because it's just a badly written, badly paced, bad looking film.
Yeah. And the last time we had a film this bad, a pandemic followed it. So is that really the tone that we're setting? Do you know what film I'm talking about?
In
2019, end of 2019.
Oh my god.
It's
not the Snyder Cut?
The cultural phenomenon. It's also a musical.
Is it Cats?
Oh, it's Cats.
I was right.
I think that Cats is on the exact same caliber as Emilia Perez, except Cats is just.
Are you implying that we're gonna go through COVID too, due to Emilia Perez if it wins an Oscar, Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I'll be going through COVID Part 2, and then once
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, and then COVID Messiah at some point. COVID 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I like that. I like Messiah. Yeah, this movie is bad. I love Netflix for the simple fact it has an Oscar category of the 2025 ones, and Emilia Perez is one of the 6 movies they have in Oscars. And it's a bunch of movies. It's like one international. I think Flo's in there, which is, I heard it's good, so fine.
I still haven't seen it.
And then a bunch of other movies no one's gonna watch. And then Emilia Perez is the headliner of the Oscar category in Netflix. It's like, come on. You guys gotta figure something out.
And can I just say, like, at the beginning of Emilia Perez, like, those first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, this is really bad, but it's also kind of good, and, like, I like this storyline. Yeah. But then it just got, like, boring. It's like, what are you trying to do with this? And then it just ends. And you're like, oh.
And this is something that I only noticed, like, halfway through, but they love to fade. Yeah. They love to use the fade. It's just, it looks like they just learned how to use CapCut.
And they acted like they were faded. So you know what? It's kind of like, who was in the production on this film? Like, which, like, shitty intern was the one who, like, promoted this?
Honestly, I would have thought it was you, but, you know.
Whoa!
If you could go back in time and intern on the Emilia Perez set, would you? And try to fix it?
I would
like a baby Hitler situation where you try to save that movie? Or do you let it die?
I think I would have to let it die. Honestly, I think I would have to.
Killing Zoe Saldana? Because that movie is not. They would, like, pause production, probably.
If I killed Zoe Saldana. I'm not going to kill Zoe Saldana. Well, I love her. Okay. I love when she gets painted blue or green. Like, I love that. But,
That's true.
Okay. I think I would just have to, like, watch it all play out. And just, I think that there's no salvaging bad.
That movie, yeah.
Like, there's no salvaging. Terrible script, terrible direction, terrible editing, terrible acting, terrible singing. Yeah. There's nothing.
And it sounds basic if you haven't seen it, but, like, when you watch it, you will be like, okay, they're right. Yeah. I just want to fix this camera, because.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're back.
Yeah, I'll edit that part out.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, do you want to pick the next film? So on the board, I just want to remind everybody that we're left to talk about Wicked, Conclave, and Dune 2. So you have the choice of what we're going to talk about.
To segue into musicals, a musical that did do it, Wicked. Yeah. Let's talk about Wicked. I love Wicked.
I'm glad you brought it up because I actually did kind of want to talk about Wicked.
I really liked Wicked. I think that if you're talking about musicals that have fit the bill, that have perfectly incorporated music and storytelling, Wicked and Hairspray are the two that come to mind.
Oh my god, I love Hairspray.
Hairspray.
Holy shit. I'm a Hairspray head.
Hairspray, I think that Wicked is on that exact same level as Hairspray.
Yeah, okay.
Wicked is such a beloved thing, and Wicked had the exact same rap as Amelia, like the exact same bill to fit as Amelia Perez, where it's a musical that you have to market to a really wide audience.
Right.
But also it had that level of The Wizard of Oz being such a beloved story, and Wicked being such a beloved musical, Cynthia Erivo being such a beloved actress, and Ariana Grande being such a beloved pop star. You had all of these reputations that you needed to uphold, and you had all of these different things that you needed to like give justice to, and I think that Wicked completely executed this.
Yeah.
Now, you said that you think that splitting it up into part 1 and part 2 is like damaging to their marketing. I think that it's very helpful. I think that the fact that this ended with Defying Gravity, Wicked Part 1 is the perfect film to be nominated for an Oscar. Do I think that Wicked Part 2, like knowing Wicked, is going to be nominated for an Oscar? I do not. I think that Wicked Part 1 is the perfect one to be nominated.
Yep.
It's the perfect one to have this long of a runtime. And I think that the pacing was great. And can we just talk about the production and the set design and the costumes? Like, everything was just perfect, and it really transported you into that world.
Yeah.
I cried multiple times during it, and I'm not even like the biggest Wicked fan.
Have you seen it?
On Broadway?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
I would love to. It's very different, but I would love to.
Yeah, because from what I understand from people that have seen the Broadway version, the play is 2.5 hours including intermission. So that is, when you consider how long Wicked and Wicked for Good will be, that's like 4 hours. Yeah. So
and
that's kind of where I get tripped up, I think.
I think that it's just because you can do so much with film. You can do so much world building and dialogue and character exploration. And I think that, I mean, in Wicked the musical, they don't have like Elphaba's whole childhood, and they don't have the visual representation of that because you can't hire that many minors to work on a Broadway stage and things like that.
Right.
And there was so much that they could do in just building up everything. And also, I mean, not to spoil, but
you can spoil
the cameo from Idina Menzel.
Yeah, that was good.
And Kristen Chenoweth just hitting you over the head was amazing, and I really, 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 really liked it. And
I did too, actually. I found it quite enjoyable.
I would like to hear your thoughts on it because I am like a musical theater Ariana Grande stan. So
I really enjoyed Wicked, and I did not expect to like it, honestly, because. Famously, I'm a hater on many things, so you know, I went in with an open mind, but I expected for it to disappoint me, but I actually really had a good time with it. I think the end was really long. It's like, when are you gonna jump out this window, lady? I can't be the only one thinking that. Like it, and I went in a theater that was empty besides me and my mother. So you know, me and her were talking throughout the film. Honestly, like we were commenting on it. And we both enjoyed it. I really did enjoy Wicked. Ariana Grande is great. She performed her role perfectly. I don't think there's a better actress that could have probably done everything she needed to do in that movie.
Yeah.
Again, it is a long movie, and I think that's part of my problem with it. I'm not usually a fan of movies that are over 2.5 hours. I think there's a certain art to the edit. And I understand sometimes you need a long movie to tell the story, but when there's a second part to this, it's like, okay, I don't know. Now you're kind of losing me. But I did enjoy it. It's not like it was a bad movie. I do think Hairspray is a step above this movie. I love Hairspray. That's probably a part of it, because I really like Hairspray. I listen to the soundtrack unironically, like in my free time. I love Hairspray. I don't know. But a positive spin, to put a positive spin on it, the set design, the hair, makeup, all that stuff is incredible.
Yes.
And that was the first thing I noticed. Even my mom said, and she's not like super into film, but she even noticed like, yeah, this is like, I've never seen a movie like this. And it's absolutely true. And I think that was probably, to me, that's the best part of this movie, is the mise en scène.
Yes. Also, the practical sets.
Yeah.
The practical effects.
Yes.
How much of it was just done by people instead of computers was just makes it a film. Like, that is film, that is cinema.
Yeah.
And that is what you need to do, especially when you're adapting the set design, non-technological special effects film, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do to fit that bill.
And my last comment, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but my last comment about Wicked, this is an impossible movie to please everybody. Because this is such a tall order. You said it perfectly.
Yes.
But it is a really tall order to not only please fans of Wicked and theater buffs like you,
Oh, thanks.
but to also please the general audience like me and my mother. Neither of us have seen Wicked either. And neither of us are really musical theater people. So in order to please everybody and still make money off this movie, which they spent a lot of money on this movie. It's very, very clear. And you have to. This is a movie you have to spend a lot of money on. Yeah. And it succeeded. I give a lot of props. Spoilers, it's not my selection for Best Picture, but in a different year, it might be.
I think that Wicked will not be winning Best Picture. I'm just going to say that right off the bat now that we're on that topic. I think that Wicked is getting what I call the Barbie Award for not winning Best Picture. Not only because, and I hate to be that person.
Go ahead.
This film is completely centered towards a female demographic.
Wicked or Barbie?
Both.
Okay.
Both were very centered towards a female demographic.
And I understand that.
That involves children's marketing.
Right.
Like, Wicked, I had, like, my 8-year-old cousin go see Wicked.
Right.
And she loved it. And she's like, I love Ariana Grande.
She didn't
I want
think
her
that,
dress and
I want to
everything.
get her... She didn't find the monkey part scary where the wings are growing out of it?
Not at all.
Because some people found... From what I've
thought
heard...
it was scary.
From what I've heard, there were some people out there... I don't want to name names, but find it... I did get jump scared in Wicked.
Wow.
I'm not proud to admit it, but I did jump in my seat.
Wow.
When
That's
the monkeys
crazy.
are like slamming on the window, I jumped.
Yeah.
And my mom looked right at me and shook her head and watched the movie. This is true.
Yeah, but I think that it just won't win because of, like, it's filled with whimsy and fun, and Oscar voters don't like whimsy and fun. Like, I'm sorry.
And they don't like movies.
And they don't like
stupid.
movies.
They hate you.
What if we were Oscar voters? Well, we're gonna find that out.
Yeah. If
What
we
we
were,
vote
then
for.
Saturday night would have 6 Oscars. Well, if I was. I'd make
Challengers would win every single Oscar.
Challengers sweep.
Challengers. I loved Challengers. That's like favorite movie of the year.
I believe it. And I'm glad you gave that one a shout out because I wasn't even thinking about that
Oh, I
when
love
you're
Challengers.
talking about best movie that won't win anything.
All right, we need to talk about Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh wait, and Conclave.
And Conclave. Do you want to start with Dune or Conclave?
I think that I want to start with Dune
Go
because
ahead.
we did already talk about Dune a lot. But just to rehash it, I think that Timothée Chalamet gives a better performance in Dune than he does in A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
And I think that Timothée Chalamet just in Dune, like, and then knowing him in real life, it's totally different.
You know
it's
him
like
personally?
I feel like
Knowing
I do.
him in real life.
I feel like I do. I feel like he's come to me in dreams a couple times. Actually, that's a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't
Ever
know.
since
I don't want to
was
know
a-
any more about those dreams with Timothée
I don't.
Chalamet.
Okay, they're not like bad. I just like
are
he's
they-
always just kind of there, and like he's been there for like a while, and I'm like, why does my mind always go to Timothée Chalamet when I like think about these things? But I think that Timothée Chalamet is such a versatile actor, and I
Yeah.
think that he's what makes this film.
Yeah.
And it was just like fun to watch in theaters. That's one that you can't watch on HBO Max. You gotta be like in a theater, 3D glasses. You gotta be like, whoa! And I think that captured.
Thoughts on Austin Butler?
Amazing. Why didn't he get a supporting actor nomination? I don't know.
Do you think the movie would have been better or worse if he did the Elvis impression in his role? And can you
He
do
did
an
do-
impersonation of Austin Butler as Elvis Presley right now?
He's like, hey. He's like, it was kind of like Timothée Chalamet, Bob Dylan. I feel like they're like two very different ends of the spectrum. Of
Which spectrum?
of celebrities in biopics
Right.
who the person that they're playing stays with them for the rest of their life. And right in the middle is like
Okay.
Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
I can't do an Elvis impression. I can't do an Austin Butler impression. Austin Butler actually... Oh wait, I can't say this. Can we cut this?
Yeah.
Cut this.
Yeah. Sure.
Cut this part out.
Okay.
Austin Butler's coming to Rhode Island to film a movie this summer.
We'll talk after.
Wait, I feel like I did tell someone that, but like I found that out through my work, and I don't think I'm supposed to tell anyone. Rhode Island College.
I don't know. This is what Google came up with.
Look. Yeah, right here.
Oh my god.
So the guy who wrote this book is from Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Yeah, it's set in Providence. Feinberg. That's okay. So that was my boss.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's gonna be in like Gansett over the summer, and I actually
Goodness.
I had to help with some of the location scouting for it over the summer. That was my internship.
Good for you. How
really
do you even
fun.
score something like that, dude?
Oh, it's like through the state. Like if you like did stuff with the state house,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Hey, do you want
Matt
to?"
Moretti. Good for him.
Yeah, Matt Moretti. Good for him. Okay, so maybe that isn't, but it doesn't say that it's going to be shot in Rhode Island just yet.
Well, might be old.
That's fictionalized, yeah.
This is from April of 2024. Right,
Yeah,
this
this says hopes will
Okay,
be made
so
here. It
I
is
would
going to be
guess.
made here, and apparently Austin Butler was like in the office that I was working at like a week after.
Well,
the summer ended.
r/Austin Butler land says, why is Austin Butler new movie is perfect for Providence? So
Yeah, and
thanks
it
r/Austin
is
Butler.
it is based in Providence. Half the locations are in Providence,
Interesting.
so
Is this
he'll
the-
be around. Just
Okay,
like how
I don't
Jimmy.
think that's him, but
Your LinkedIn profile is that your
What's it?
senior photo?
yeah, but I didn't pay for it, so it's just a photo. I took a photo of my yearbook,
Oh, nice.
so it's really washed out, like the coloring. Okay, we should probably get back to this.
Yes, we
because
should.
just
I didn't
don't
know
look
if I
at
didn't know if I could
It's
talk
okay,
about
we'll-
that.
We'll cut that part out. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
It's
amazing.
cool, but we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Last but not wait, you have to talk about Dune Part 2.
I don't really have any comments. I haven't seen in a long time. It's literally been a year since it
It's
came
been a year.
out, so I honestly don't have any comments on Dune,
Let's talk about Conclave.
a movie I just saw today.
I loved Conclave.
Very
I
good.
watched it a couple days ago with my mom. I will say, like, I was super, super tired the night that I was watching it. So I'm sitting there, it's the first act, I'm just like falling asleep. My mom was like, "Are you still up?" I'm like, "Yeah." But it had me hooked. I
Right.
think that just like the realism that was in it, but also like this weird gossipy undertone was really, really cool. Just
Not
the way
undertone, overtone.
Overtone.
100% overtone.
like the way that I don't know, the way that they really added humanity to people that seem divine because they are promoting divinity and they
Right.
are kind of the overseers of divinity in our world. Also, seeing all the places in the Vatican, I did not know that they did the conclave in the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And I was like, they're in the Sistine Chapel. There's no way that that's the actual Sistine Chapel because you can't take pictures in the Sistine Chapel. Like, I know this.
I wonder what the process for that is like. I'd love to talk to the director about that.
Yeah, and having to replicate such sacred spaces.
Yeah.
And is it up for production design?
If not, it should be. I don't even.
I
have
think
down,
it
but-
might be. I definitely have it written down, but
I don't even know.
oh, I have
If you have it. that
I
might
have
be
all the
easier.
nominees right here. Let's see. Production design. Conclave is up for it. I mean, I gave it to a very obvious answer, but I do think that Conclave is a very good contender because you had to replicate those holy spaces.
Right.
And I mean, I just also like the way that they kind of snuck in that like the queer undertone of it was like towards the end
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna spoil it,
Yeah.
but like
I thought you were going to talk about
that
like Stanley
little-
Tucci and
No.
Ralph Fiennes. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I
don't
know.
I didn't
I-
think there was a queer undertone there.
I also think that Stanley Tucci in every single role that he's in, he's like a little fruity. And I always think that about Stanley Tucci because
Did
I
you
love
say that to his face? If he was
Oh
really
yes.
now,
And I
you
feel
tell
like
him.
he'd be like, "Oh, cool."
He's like, yeah, I am. That's why. I'm like, oh,
I think
okay,
that
cool.
Stanley Tucci was like one of the highlights of that film. I'm surprised that he didn't get anything for supporting actor.
It's a great supporting cast. That's the problem.
The only thing that I was really hoping for with Conclave is that, and I wish that they had given, let me pull up the names of the cast members. Benitez. I wish that they had given Carlos Diaz a little more screen time, just a little more character building, a little bit more of him. Just like kind of how they did in the first act, like when they were interrogating him, I wish that they had kind of kept that weird stigma around him. I feel like they switched up on him being like, yeah, come in really, really fast. And I wish that was a little more gradual.
I agree with that.
And they could have added like 5 minutes to the runtime and it would have been fine. Because this is a perfect runtime of a movie. I mean, 2 hours, like that's great. I love it.
This is the type of movie that would be 3 hours, but with a different director.
Yeah.
I think. And I think that is one of the strongest points. Obviously, you mentioned the set pieces, where it's shot. All that stuff is perfect. I mean, it's a really good looking movie. I called it Wicked for Catholics. In the set design sense, where there's two sides of the spectrum. There's the Catholics and there's the theater kids.
Yeah.
There's no in between. It's just two circles. It's not a Venn diagram.
I think that Conclave is very much for theater kids because for a little theater history, MTV had this production called Legally Blonde: The Search for Elle Woods when they were trying to find like the next Elle Woods on Broadway or whatever for the Legally Blonde musical. And it was like a competition reality show that kind of felt a little like this. Yeah. Where it was like, who's gonna be best? And everyone's gossiping about each other. And it's also like the scene at the end of Mean Girls where she's like throwing the papers, saying everything bad about everyone everywhere. And that's kind of how it was. Second
Mean Girls name drop, by the way, today.
Second Mean Girls name drop. And not the last. But, yeah, I think just sassy. Yeah. Sassy movie.
I loved your review of Conclave, by the way, on Letterboxd. Do you want to just repeat that for this?
MTV presents Legally Pope: The Search for Innocentias.
Great.
The 14th.
Perfect. Like it's everything you need to know about the movie. Yep. Based on two, like one fact you only know if you watch the movie, and the other fact you only know if you're in the very niche minority that knows what the hell that is.
Legally Blonde: The Search for Elle.
Yeah. Which I don't even know. Like I didn't even know that. I'm usually in the know about 90s pop culture, but I didn't even know about that. Is that 90s or 2000s?
Mid 2000s.
Okay, well either way.
Like 2008 pop culture.
Yeah, you were one, and you still. It's like okay.
I know.
Are you okay? You're just a weird flex, but
I'm
okay.
a little chronically online.
I can tell.
A little chronically online.
That's okay.
So is that it for our?
Yeah, I haven't seen The Brutalist. I'm still here with Nickel Boys, and you haven't. Right?
I have not. I think that The Brutalist, I've heard. Just from what I've heard, it's really, really great for like the first act and like half the second act. And then it just drags on, and the intermission gets there. You're like,
when you say you've heard, are you just going solely based off Lizzie Cody's Letterboxd review? Yeah, I thought so because I read that today as well.
Yeah, and I think that is also just generally
her word is law,
hearing.
According to you.
It is law, and Lizzie Cody is the love of my life. So like, what are you talking about?
Interesting.
But I also think that The Brutalist is. Like, when I saw the trailer, when I was going to see Nosferatu,
right.
I was like, oh, this is gonna, like, be nominated for Best Picture, and this is gonna be a big contender. It very much seems like a bit of an Oscar bait movie, and I'm not hearing the greatest things about it, especially with this use of AI, which we will talk about later, and how that will be impacting Oscar voting, because Oscar voting is very different than BAFTA voting, SAG voting, all of that, and we can also talk about like kind of what makes up Oscar voting because I've done a lot of research on this recently. Nickel Boys, I'm hearing a lot for adapted screenplay. I'm hearing so much about the writing in that film. Yeah. But that is it. And then I'm Still Here was the IMDb favorite, but it's also because it's an international feature.
Yeah. And those
I heard that's
those
great.
Really don't, unless you're Parasite.
Unless you're Parasite. So
I'm
Still
movie
Here.
I liked everyone agreed on that movie specifically, like IMDb, every Letterboxd,
everything
like Oscars, everyone agreed Parasite was that your best movie.
I mean, Parasite is incredible. Like, who wouldn't agree on Parasite? Parasite is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's get into these predictions.
You want to do Best Director?
I know, because you have that pulled up.
It's just the first thing on my notes.
So, the first thing that we need to do is we also need to keep track of what each other said, because here's my idea.
Yep.
So, Connor and I are going to have a little battle.
This was good.
Right now. So, if we predict the correct winner for any of these how many categories did you predict?
I put down 1, 2, 3, 4.
I threw
5,
in predictions
6, 7, 8. 9 plus picture.
Okay,
9.
so I threw in predictions for all of them, but
That's
we can
fine.
just go out those 9.
Because I didn't see any short films or,
Neither did I. I just went off of, like, critical acclaim, Letterboxd, different, like, I have all my sources in here.
Yep.
But, 10 points if we get a prediction correct, 5 points if we get a hope correct.
Right.
If it's both a prediction and a hope, you only get 10 points.
Yeah, okay, yeah. See, yeah, that's, perfectly said.
And then I'll just make a note of which ones.
Okay, yeah, that's
so. Best Director's towards the end. I have this in order of the way that they're going to announce it.
Yeah,
so should we go prediction or hope first?
Well, to list off the nominees real quick. Sean Baker for Anora. Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Excuse you.
Scary, excuse me.
Jacques Eddie Douard for Amelia Perez. And Corley Fergati for The Substance. So, I feel like we should do wants first.
I love cutting the grass every couple of years. I just saw that in your notes. So we should do our wants first?
Yeah. I'm shielding my computer from you.
Okay, so my want for Best Director personally is who won the Critics' Choice Award, John M. Chu for Wicked.
Yep.
I do not think that he's going to be winning this, but I think that, first of all, can we just talk about John M. Chu as a director? He did Crazy Rich Asians, he did the Step Up film, so he knows how to make a film fun. And I think that his directing choices, and I'm going to bring this up, in Wicked, when they say, like, Galinda, you're a martyr, and then she does the, well, these things are meant to try us. They have, like, a window behind her head that looks like, you know, that, like, halo that many paintings of saints have.
Yeah.
It makes her look like she has that halo. And there's so many little details just like that in Wicked that really make that directing, like, ugh, like, I love that. I love the way that they did that. I thought that Coralie Farragut was going to have my vote after watching The Substance, but then I was like, I cannot give this hope to her because I am about to throw up right now.
You're right.
But I do think that her directing was also very good, and I could see that, but my hope would be John M. Chu for Wicked, and Critics' Choice liked it, so you know what?
Okay, I respect that.
I feel pretty good about it.
My want or hope is Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. Again, I haven't seen The Brutalist, but this is a guy that has a big vision for a movie, and I give people props when they, even if a movie's not perfect, but it has a big idea, I give you more credit for that than a movie that plays it safe. And from what I understand, The Brutalist is not a safe movie as far as scope goes. And I understand there's a lot of stuff with AI and the use of that has impacted voting. I totally get that. But this is a guy with a big idea, and I want someone like that to be rewarded for their attempts. Do you want to do your actual prediction?
I'd like to comment on yours really quick and just say that I think that I really loved how Brady Corbet added that intermission because it really makes it seem like an older film.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, just like how you said about Complete Unknown, like it takes you back into that place, and I think
to a stronger degree. I think, because there is definitely nobody alive.
No.
Probably, you know.
In The Brutalist.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really makes it look like it was a film also set at that time.
Right.
So I very much agree. My prediction, however, is Sean Baker for Anora.
Me too.
He won the DGA, which is the Directors Guild Award. The Directors Guild, the Screen Actors Guild, and the Writers Guild are actually, they make up the majority of Oscar voters.
Yep.
These Oscar voter, like the confessions and the anonymous confessions that you're hearing, are the press voters, which is the people for Variety, the people for Entertainment Weekly, the people for IMDb. Those are the people that you're hearing all these opinions from.
Right.
So you really need to go off these guild awards, and then for production-wise, you kind of go off the BAFTAs, because normally those are similar voters. And then the rest of the voters is made up by, like, rich people that like to watch movies, which those are... actually...
Watch.
The rich people that watch movies are actually the ones that typically watch the most of the films.
That's not good.
Yeah.
If your job is to watch movies, you should do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's hard.
But just due to the DGA win, I think that Sean Baker will be getting the prize, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. I'm gonna go down more the gambling side of it because the odds are in the favor of Sean Baker for Anora. Yes. The odds are in his favor. I know that's not everything because the odds have been swung a lot. It's I think it's a race right now. For as far as Best Picture goes, that will come down to Anora and I think Conclave. As far as this goes, I don't think there's much of a contest. Yeah. I think he's got it in the bag, and I think this is just his award to lose. I
agree. And also, Sean Baker just seems like such a down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
And his line of work really speaks for itself, and he is such a vision. And yeah. All right, what are we doing next?
Actor. Best actor.
Wow, we're going right into Best Actor.
I want to jump into Best Actor because I'll read out the nominees. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. Surprised he didn't get nominated for Best Picture. But
Yes, me too.
Ralph Fiennes, probably pronouncing it wrong.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes, who gives a shit. Conclave. Sebastian Stan, my guy, for The Apprentice.
Yeah, I was shocked that even The Apprentice just getting nominated.
Not the one I would
whole-
have thought. Because
Yeah.
he was also in
A Different Man, and that's what he won the Golden Globe for. So I'm shocked that they didn't put him in for that.
You're shocked.
Shocked.
Were you really shocked? Like, were you surprised? Because those are two different things.
I was shocked that The Apprentice got nominated
Okay,
because, I mean, Hollywood historically just hates Donald Trump, and that is
very true.
like, why would you put that in there? I also haven't seen The Apprentice,
No, me
and we
neither.
were talking about this last night. Like, I haven't seen The Apprentice.
I just want
But-
to, and I know this means absolutely zero, but Sebastian Stan did win the IMDb fan vote for Best Actor.
Yes.
It doesn't mean shit, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just a point of contention. One thing about Ray Fiennes that we've talked about, I sent you this. 2 separate voters claimed that Rafe will not win. They didn't vote for Rafe because he had won an Oscar before for Schindler's List. This is not true.
Yes.
Both of these people did vote for Adrian Brody, who they claim to have not won an Oscar, but did for The Pianist.
Yes. And Ray Fiennes is still Oscarless. I do not think that this is Ray Fiennes' Oscar to win.
No, I don't have them. for
So
either.
my hope, and honestly, I'm going based off of the way that most people say that they vote for president. Who I think I could like go get a beer with, who I could go out with.
I thought you were going to go most attractive.
No, that's
how
normally
I vote.
That's normally how I vote,
Oh,
but
okay.
how most people say that they vote is like, who can you go get a beer with? Like, that's that famous saying.
So, yeah.
And I think
Go
that I would vibe so well with Timothée Chalamet, and I think that he deserves it. However, I think that he deserved it for Call Me By Your Name a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he deserved it for Beautiful Boy, which he never got nominated for. This is Timothée Chalamet's time to win, and especially with him working for years and years and years to portray Bob Dylan, and he did it perfectly. The more and more I learn about Bob Dylan, the more and more I'm like, that was perfectly encapsulated in Timothée Chalamet. This Oscar season really seems like the battle of the smokers between Adrian Brody and Timothée Chalamet
Did
and
you
the
practice
entire
that
cast
joke?
of Conclave. I did not. I just thought of that.
Okay.
But I think that this is Timothy's Oscar to win. I can't wait to see him make history, and I have so many people whose faces I'm gonna laugh right in and be like, "Suck on that, Timothée Chalamet won."
I also put that for my want that I want Chalamet to win. And I agree that he'd be very easy to talk to. I think me and him would talk about basketball. It would be very easy for us to connect.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that he'd get me in his next movie as an extra. But I don't think he will win. And that is coming from a guy that loves Chalamet.
Mm-hmm.
The Oscars are very askewed as an award. They're very... I think they're a little nervous to hand the baton off to a new person, and so I do think Brody will win.
Okay.
And I know that's not a popular opinion, and that's fine. I just know how these awards go, and they're often wrong. And this feels like a time where they would get it wrong, and I'd love to be wrong on this, because this is an Oscars that could go multiple different ways. I do think Coleman Domingo is a sleeper.
Yes, I agree. I'm shocked that he hasn't been given his flowers yet.
And who knows? If he could come out of nowhere and win this, and I wouldn't really be that surprised. I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be that surprised. But I do feel like Adrian Brody will end up winning tomorrow night.
So I have Adrian Brody winning.
Really? Oh, okay.
I do have that written down.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
I am going to change my answer to Timothée Chalamet.
Oh.
I'm willing to risk it all on Timothée Chalamet.
Bet the house on Chalamet. Okay. I like
I'm
that.
gonna risk it on Chalamet right now, and here's why.
Yep.
So, Adrian Brody was like the top contender at the beginning of award season until all of the news about AI usage in The Brutalist broke out. Then Timothée Chalamet swept in with the Screen Actors Guild Award.
Right.
Now, like I said earlier, the Guild is what matters. Normally, the Guild winners are a great foreshadowing of the Oscar winners. I can think of very, very few times where they haven't been. AI means a lot to these Guild members. The Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild both went on strike for AI usage in their films. And the fact that The Brutalist is a contender with AI can completely turn them off. It's not even like the fact that they literally showed Adrian Brody doing like a Jamaican accent the other night on SNL, but I think that
Do you think that's a deal breaker for the Jamaican community?
I mean, I would like it if Adrian Brody portrayed my community, the Italian community. But that's like not the same.
He only does Jews. I'm sorry. He only does Jewish people.
Yeah. Is he Jewish?
I don't want to say. I don't even know. I don't want to make a joke just in case he's not or he is.
I feel like when I first saw Adrian Brody, I thought he looked like what's his name? Zachary Gordon.
I thought you say Zach Levi. I'm like, hell yeah.
No, not Zach Levi. Zachary Gordon of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid films.
No, but
does he not look like a little bit of a grown-up Greg Heffley?
Definitely not. Have you not seen The Pianist? Do you think that
I have not seen The Pianist?
Okay, well there you go.
But I do think that Timothée Chalamet is going to take it just because that Guild Award and this whole buzz around him. I think that it would be a great end to an already like crazy season to give the award to him.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that prediction because I would love to see it too. Let's jump into Best Actress. I have the same one prediction. I think this might be the only time. I have Demi Moore.
I have Demi Moore as well.
I'm glad. Go ahead.
I really think that it's her time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's always been an incredible actress, but she gave the performance of her life in the Substance. She was like not willing to just get ugly and risk it all and just act in The Substance. And The Substance as a whole is about the price of fame and how the industry treats some of its veteran members as being like, you're useless now because you're not hot anymore.
Right.
And I feel like people really underestimated Demi Moore when she was going into a role like this.
Yep.
But I think that just with the connotations of this film and the fact that she's won the SAG Award,
yep,
it's just further like propelling her, and the Golden Globe, which the Golden Globes don't really matter. However, Mikey Madison won the BAFTA, the Spirit Awards, and a bunch of other things. Like, I think she won Critics' Choice. I think that Mikey Madison has so much more to show.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her getting an Oscar within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
However, and like to contrast that, Timothée Chalamet, because of this press run, I don't know if we could see him back on that Oscars stage in a couple of years. I think that this is Timothée Chalamet's time. I think that this is not Mikey Madison's time. Even though she's so incredible, I think that she has something even more to show.
Well, with Mikey Madison, you have to go through a little bit of hardship in order to win your Oscar. Mm-hmm. It's never handed to anyone. It took DiCaprio how many years to win an Oscar?
Oh my god.
A long time.
Like,
he won it
so
for The
many.
Revenant.
Yeah. He didn't win for Wolf of Wall Street.
Or any other movie.
Or like, any other movie, The Departed.
There's like 8 other roles he could have won. Same thing with a guy like Scorsese who won for The Departed, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
He was making movies for 30 years at that point.
And it's like...
It never comes right away. It's never your first one.
It's like that thing in the music industry where it's like it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are quoting, with Chappell Roan winning Best New Artist this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you gotta put that work in, and I think that Mikey Madison is someone that could nail it on the first try, but I don't think that she will, personally.
I didn't even say this, but the nominees were Cynthia Erivo, whatever, for Wicked, Mikey Madison for Nora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. So just in case people were wondering.
About Carlos Sofia.
No, I just didn't even mention it.
Fernanda Torres is getting some buzz right now, but I just don't think that I'm Still Here was widespread enough.
No, not at all. And I think that's it. And obviously these people don't do research, so why should we expect them to? Why should we predict them to?
Yeah, like we're probably the most credible people to be talking about this.
I would say seriously that we're probably more qualified than at least 6 people that are voters for the Oscars.
Definitely more than 6.
Well, at least 6. Mm-hmm. I don't know the number. I don't even know how many Oscar voters there are, truthfully. Mm-hmm. But I would say, yeah. All right, you want to do actor and supporting role?
Let's do actor and supporting role.
The nominees: Yuri Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Very strong supporting actors.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy Strong supporting actors. Mine is the same as my prediction and hope. Are they the same? Are yours?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I'm biased.
So
yeah.
both my... Oh, then I know what you're going to talk about. Okay. So both my prediction and my... Actually, you do your hope, and then I'll do my prediction and my hope, and then you do your prediction.
I hope Edward Norton wins.
I knew that you were
And
gonna say
I
that.
know he won't, and I don't care. I love Edward Norton, and I love him in this movie. there's nothing more I can really say about Edward Norton that hasn't been said. He had a decorated career. This could be his last movie, and he's a shoo-in for a hypothetical Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. He's everything you want out of an actor. He can go overboard sometimes. We know there's been some, on-set scandals. Whatever. Who cares? He's great. He's great in everything. Mm-hmm. He made The Incredible Hulk watchable. Yep. I'm just saying. Yep. It's a bad movie. And no one gives him credit. He should have stayed as the Hulk, but I'm kind of happy he didn't, because we got Birdman out of it.
Yeah, I really do like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I will say.
Mark Ruffalo,
I really like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk.
That's fine.
I think that he's great.
But I think my prediction is probably the same as yours.
Yes, so my prediction and my want is Kieran Culkin. Yeah. I think, okay, so Kieran Culkin, to give like a little history about him, brothers Macaulay Culkin, the two of them actually grew up being trained in theater, and the difference between being trained in theater and being trained for film is absolutely astronomical, because with theater you're trained to go all the way and then you're trained to tone it down, whereas with regular like filmmaking you're just trained to give that naturalistic thing, which is a lot harder to do, whereas when you're trained in theater then you can really mix levels, and I think that we really see that in his production in A Real Pain. Yeah. I think that his personality is so dynamic and interesting, and he's like that in every single role that he plays, and I just like him as a person a lot, and I think that this is his time. He has swept every single category. This is it for Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, he'll win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm not going to argue with it. Mm-hmm. Best odds, like the betting odds are in his favor, all of that. He's going to win. I really, really enjoyed A Real Pain. Mm-hmm. I am surprised it did not get the nod for nomination for Best Picture.
I agree.
I really think it's better than some of those movies that I've seen up there. It's obviously better than Emilia Perez. It is on the level of Wicked as a film. And I really like Kieran Culkin. And I really like Jesse Eisenberg in that movie. There's a weird part where Jesse Eisenberg has a whole scene talking about his feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
like
even want to talk about that. He just talks about it. It's more than once he mentions it. It's like, why are we talking about this? This is not what I want to hear. I want to hear.
He has grandma's feet. He has grandma's feet. And I think that also, as someone who like has had those like weird moments, like as someone who has gone through that, like obviously I haven't gone like on a trip to Poland with my Jewish cousins, but I have like had these moments with my cousins like after, like especially after my grandmother died, where it's like we have those like weird memories, and the way that they talked about like the discourse on it and when they were young, and the idea of mixing happy memories with like immense grief. The way that they portrayed that was incredible. And are we talking about screenplay today?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay, because I have a lot to say there.
That's good.
Kieran Culkin, let's go.
Yeah, and one last point about just A Real Pain in general, because I really do want to say it. I relate to both Eisenberg's character and Culkin's character immensely. In both, it's weird because usually you don't. Yeah. In a movie, usually you'll trend towards one character. That's how you know a movie's doing a good job with its characters. If you can relate to both. I can definitely relate a lot to Culkin. There's been moments in my life where I feel like I'm like, this is going to sound super self-conceited, but the life of the party almost sometimes. And I know it sounds funny, but
I agree.
I can definitely work a room. And then there are other times where I see someone else working a room much better than I am, and I'm like, I feel like Jesse Eisenberg. I'm like, yeah, I do everything right, but I just can't get to his level.
I've had so many of those instances as well. Like the exact, I haven't thought about that, but I'm like, yeah, I do kind of feel the same way. I feel like for me, it's like I think I'm the life of the party, but then I see other people just doing it a tad bit better, and I'm like,
but we're doing the same
what am
thing.
I doing? Yeah. And most of the time it's like it's all internalized, and it's not actually what it is. But yeah, and just those feelings of like resentment, but not knowing that you guys resent each other. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going for actress?
Supporting, yeah. The nominees: Monica Barbaro for Complete Unknown. I'm scared to mispronounce something again. Okay. Ariana Grande for Wicked. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. And there's another person I don't care to name.
Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez.
You don't have her, right?
I have her on something.
Oh God!
Yes.
It's okay. Just go ahead.
So
just
I hope
give me your
that.
want.
So I want Ariana Grande to win this Oscar.
That's fine.
And I want her to win the Oscar in the exact same way that I want Timothée Chalamet to win the Oscar. Ariana Grande has been training for the role of Glinda since she was 13 years old. She was so incredible in that role, and I'm like, I look upon her and I'm just so proud. And you can just, like, she made that film. Like, she made that movie enjoyable, and she made that movie easy for that wider demographic that's not exactly a theater kid to watch. Like, everyone wanted to be Glinda.
Yeah.
And if you watch the musical, you don't really want to be Glinda.
Right.
So
she's a very likable person, generally.
And I also just love her, and I think that obviously she has a little bit of a weird press run, especially with Cynthia Erivo. Like, they've been a little weird in promoting the film. But you know what? All of that aside, I think that it goes to Ariana Grande, deservingly.
Ariana Grande, I love Bang Bang, the song.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, hit me up and I don't know, we'll collab.
I think that Bang Bang is one of the greatest songs ever created. I put that on my spam account?
I don't know.
Who
am I? I memorized your spam account now?
I don't know, but I think that Bang Bang is one of the greatest songs ever created.
I unironically enjoy that song a lot. My
Bang
want is Monica Barbaro for
a complete unknown.
I don't care.
I wonder what you're gonna put for Best Picture.
You'd be surprised. I loved her in this role, and I think she's great. Oh, quickly, Cruiser Hanks for Culkin's character. Quick, 1, 2,
Cruise.
3. Okay. Interesting.
What do you think?
What about Eisenberg?
Eisenberg? Honestly? Cruise?
Okay.
I could see Cruise doing either.
I could see Hank doing both.
Really? I could see Cruise doing both.
I can see Hanks more as Eisenberg, though. If they remade this movie 25 years ago with Hanks and Cruise, and they're just both... they're not Jewish, though. They're just like...
They're just there.
They're just Christians or something.
But if it was 25 years ago, like, they would make them Jewish. They'd just be like, oh, they're Jewish.
Yeah. Cruise. Yeah. You know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think he's a believable Jewish man.
Pull a maestro. Just put a fake nose on him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could work.
Could work for Bradley
He'd really
Cooper.
get into it, and I think Cruise would convert. I actually think that he might.
He would convert out of Scientology.
Yeah, into Judaism for like a year, and then he'd be like, I can't do this.
You go back to...
They're giving me Adderall. I can't do this.
Go back to, like, General Zorp as...
General Zorp. All right, prediction?
Zoe Saldana. I mean, listen, if I had to put money on it, she won the SAG, she won the BAFTA. She won the SAG, guys. She won the SAG.
That's bad.
The Critics' Choice, the everything. She has just been sweeping, and... I guess.
I can see it.
I don't think that she's the best on this list. Was she the best in her film? Yes. Should she have been nominated for lead actress for Emilia Perez? Yes.
Mm.
I think that she was the lead actress of that movie. The fact that she's nominated for supporting actress is just weird to me.
Right.
And I think that she would actually have better odds in my book if she was nominated for lead actress.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't want it to happen, but if I had to put money on it, I'd put Zoe Saldana.
See, I have Grande for my...
Really?
I think there's a lot of good vibes around Ariana Grande and her role. Everything you said is basically true. She keeps the movie light. Mm-hmm. From what I understand about Wicked, it is not always a very funny movie. There are some serious times in the actual Broadway play, and Ariana Grande makes sure that the kids are enjoying it. And I think there's a draw for her because she has been in Nickelodeon. Yeah. And so automatically she's recognizable, not just for her music, because not everyone listens to her type of music, but just
Valentine.
Yeah. Like my dad knows who she is because of that.
Yeah.
It's true. So, and that's my take. And I it's also kind of wishful thinking. It's kind of like I'm manifesting Ariana Grande to win and not Zoe Saldana. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I think that Zoe Saldana would only lose because of Emilia Perez, not because of herself. But I think that we have seen instances where somebody wins the entirety of award season and then it comes to the Oscars and they don't. And that, I think, could be very apparent in the supporting actress race. So to go off of that, I think about Jamie Lee Curtis, who I think she won like a Critics' Choice Award for Everything Everywhere, and then Angela Bassett swept everything. And then when it came time for the Oscars, it was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right. Could happen again.
Could happen again. fingers crossed that it happens again. But if I had to put money on it, it's Zoe Saldana. And that's the first award of the night, so...
This will be fun. This will be a very
It's going to be a big opening.
Yeah. I heard there's rumors of a Wicked-themed opening.
I heard.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about that.
Much better than the We Don't Talk About Bruno opening.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do original screenplay or
down.
Adapted?
Let's do original.
Okay. The nominees. Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, a movie I haven't seen, The Substance.
I pray every night that a Real Pain wins.
I have both. A Real Pain.
Think both are a real pain. Wow.
Yes, both are a real pain.
I loved A Real Pain. I think that, again, the humanity in the writing and going through that kind of sort of similar thing, it's really encapsulated beautifully in its writing. So I want to hear your take because you put it for both.
I loved A Real Pain. I didn't really know what to expect. All I knew was Jesse Eisenberg, who, an actor I'm not too hot on overall, was directing it and all that. And so going in, I was a little skeptical, but I did enjoy it. I think as someone who isn't super... I'm fortunate enough to never have gone through a major loss in my family, so it's hard for me to understand it in that sense, but I can still see that it is relatable. And it's relatable to people that I've talked to that have seen it. And I think it's relatable in the sense of how families talk to each other. And I think if this wins, it's a good sign for Hollywood to keep producing movies like this that are personal from actors that care.
I agree. And I think that to go off of that, I was asked the other day in like one of my interviews for school, which film in the most recent years you wish that you had a part in the production of. And I did say A Real Pain. I said three. I said Babylon, A Real Pain, and Saturday Night. But I said
you're speaking my language.
But I said A Real Pain purely because it reminds me a lot of the writing in Good Will Hunting. And I'm a sucker for a screenplay. I'm a sucker for writing. And I think that those are the films that I want to see publicized a lot more than the Dune 2s and the... Yeah,
I agree. I think science fiction is cool. I like Star Wars a lot. It's run its course.
Yeah, I agree.
We need more relatable films, that's what the best movies are, not the science fiction movies anymore.
It's true.
Used to be in the 70s and 80s. You could argue that a lot of the best movies were science fiction. Other than Dune. Like the Star Wars have not been very well received. I know Blade Runner 2049 was pretty good, but other than that, like there's stuff like that movie about the AI child.
Megan?
No, it was a sci-fi movie. I can't even think of the name. It's that forgettable. Either way, it's just movies like that.
I'm not a fan of sci-fi either, and I think that the way that makes these sci-fi movies stand out, and I think of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
To bring it up.
Okay.
Really, I mean, that is a film that has that element of sci-fi and has a really bad element of sci-fi and really bad special effects.
Right.
But the humanity within it and just watching kind of that downfall is what makes the film, like, for me, a 5-star and very rewatchable. Because you
5-star?
Oh, I have it 5 stars. I love that movie. Maybe I'm glazing.
Hot take.
Maybe I'm glazing because I go out, because I go out with a lot of Star Wars fans. But maybe I'm glazing a little bit. Maybe in a couple years I'll be like, this is not for me. But I think that just that humanity of the difference between like love and passion and what you want and trying to get what you want and ambition and how those things can collide with each other is portrayed really beautifully. And I think that masterful writing is at the helm of that.
That's very well put. Do you have any more comments about A Real Pain? Not A Real Pain.
I do not have any more comments about A Real Pain, so I will be talking about my prediction.
Yep.
Honora. Honora is winning the WGA, and that is the only reason why I would put my money on it. I think it has a great screenplay. Again, it didn't connect with me that much because I'm not a sex worker, but I am someone whose grandmother has died. So, I relate to A Real Pain a lot more than...
Those are the two groups of people. Sex workers or dead grandmother.
Yeah. Like Moana. Like Moana's dead grandmother, and like Hustlers.
Maui?
Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez is...
Hustlers? Who was talking about Hustlers in 2025? I don't know. Okay,
maybe sure. Ben Affleck? Brings it up in the divorce
He's just talking about Good Will Hunting again, probably. or the Snyder Cut?
He's talking about Matt Damon.
He's talking about the Snyder Cut.
He's talking about Matt Damon. He's like,
Aren't they cousins?
No.
Are you sure?
They're not cousins.
I read that somewhere.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are not cousins.
Maybe not first, but like second or
They're not.
third.
No, they were just like best
I'm
friends.
saying if they're third cousins, I guess, you know, they can still support your argument.
No, they're not cousins at all.
Are you sure about this?
Matt Damon and Ben. Wait, then I've been like screaming like which could mean nothing for like the past couple of years.
Matt Damon cousins. Oh, 10th cousins. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Like, I don't think that 10th cousins should really matter.
Okay. I'm just saying. I read it on. It's one of those like those Instagram accounts where it's just like actors you didn't know were related, and it's like
an AI person like saying like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
And I'm like, oh, maybe they are. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, we'll scratch that. I'll edit that part out.
Let's go to adapted screenplay.
The nominees: Complete Unknown, Conclave, a movie I will not name, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing.
I want to know what the unnameable movie was
Amelia
based off
Perez.
of. No, I want to know what it was based off of.
Oh, it was based. I don't know if they even.
Is there a book called Amelia Perez? Well, actually, an adapted screenplay could be like it's based off of like a tweet or something.
Novel. It's based on. It's a 2018 novel.
Interesting.
Okay.
Weird. Who's reading that? I don't know. I want Conclave to win.
I have Conclave for both.
I have Conclave for both as well.
Wonderful.
Conclave is the variety prediction. Conclave is
the magazine Variety.
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. Not dissing Variety. I'm just
no. It's just that a lot of these things they just combine the screenplay awards. They don't do like adapted or that.
Oh, okay.
Nickel Boys did win the WGA, which is a very good signifier of the Oscars. However, I don't think that Nickel Boys has been propelled as much as Conclave has, and Conclave is so relevant right now.
Yeah,
and
that definitely helps. It's very contemporary, is the word I'd use.
And it used like those like beautiful gothic sets that you could use any time period and make it set in there, and then they hit that like modern day dialect and that modern day flair to it, and I think that again its pacing is really its standout, and that's why I have it for both.
I have it. Those are really good reasons. I have it for the same reason I have A Real Pain. It's a very personal movie that has a really strong idea and just runs with it. It doesn't try to do 8 different things. A lot of movies that we've seen do just too many things and kind of overload you. This does one thing really, really well. And it tells one story about one group of people. Very similar. I've heard comparisons to 12 Angry Men. Yes. And that's a very interesting comparison. It runs with one storyline, and you get it for 2 hours, and that's it. And there's no subplots really. There are minor subplots, but the main focus is this. And I think that movies like that are what we need more of, and no more superhero movies. No more.
Please no.
I saw Brave New World opening night. It's hard no.
Haven't seen it.
Hard no. Don't watch it.
I can't wait for the X-Men to be included into into the Marvel Universe. I almost said DC.
Yikes.
I'm very excited to see if they actually do that well, because they're thinking about like doing a hard reset of Marvel for like 2 years, no content, and then coming out with something that has the X-Men involved. And if they need a Kitty Pryde, I'm right here. That is my favorite superhero of all time. I
stan.
You stan.
Gianna Ucci Kitty Pryde.
Make it happen.
That'd be cool. That'd be
Change.org petition for that.
Change.org. There's no change to be even made. There's no Kitty Pryde really casted unless they're bringing back the old people. I don't know.
So I don't think that you have this as a category in your predictions, but I just do want to comment on it super, super quick.
Go ahead.
And it's like a yes or no question.
Okay.
Don't offer an alternative. Do you think that Amelia Perez will get the Best International Feature?
Yes.
Considering it's really...
Yes.
Wow.
I think it's got to win something. And I'm looking at the other ones. I'm still here. I know it has a strong case, but I don't. I feel like people talk about Amelia Perez a lot.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about I'm Still Here. Also, if I had to choose, I wouldn't choose any of these 5. It would be an Irish movie called Kneecap about Irish rappers.
Oh, you were talking about this.
I love Kneecap. watch it. It's on Netflix.
I would
It's good.
say I don't think that's on there.
It's not.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of really great things. Dee Dee from.
Oh yes.
Yes, I'm shocked that that's not on here.
You're shocked about a lot of things recently.
I'm really shocked. You know, I'm just a very expressive person. I get shocked a lot.
Yeah,
you know, life is
Dee Dee I
unexpected.
heard was good, and it's I believe it's the directing debut of whoever its director is.
Yeah, and it won the Spirit Award, so it's like.
Yes. Well, thank you all for watching. I've been your host, Connor Lewis.
And I've been Gianna Ucci.
Signing off.